Now, for some reason, I picked 4 stones at Lissadell Beach and remembered them on a rainy day because I actually wanted to see whether they would do something to the Wi-Fi signal. And I did the same in my living room. It was a rainy day, so I'd rather stay inside. I'm not going to go work in my grass pot in the garden. And I looked for a place where there were a lot going on, Hartman, Corylines. So I put the 4 stones in a perfect rectangle and looked what happened. And the same thing happened. The Corrie and the Hartman lines shifted out to just outside the 4 stones. But another thing happened. In the interior of this rectangle, sacred, or what some call spiritual energy formed. A crossing of spiritual energy, sacred energy, positive ley lines, the golden ratio, and so on. So what happened here was that a protective shield had formed, shifting out the negative energy from the interior and bringing in positive energies. Wow, interesting. Now I have put my house in this configuration for almost 2 years now, and all rooms have their own set of positive energies, even hallway, even toilet, while the negative energies are now heaped up just outside of the house. So the 4 stones seem to create a protective shield to keep the negative out and bring the positive in. Initially, I thought that this might not be beneficial in the long run, but after doing this to my house, it would not seem so. It actually feels very good, and visitors tell me the same. Now, the way it feels to me is when I put in the 4 stones in a space, I immediately get this feeling of open air and of cleanliness. So you don't have to clean your house to get a clean feeling. Yeah, it's very handy. So away with Mr. Proper and everything. I'm just joking. But now, I put 4 stones around my house. Now what happens is that all that geopathic stress is heaped up just outside of the stones. Now I have a detached house, but say somebody has an apartment or a terraced house, you're sending all that negative energy to your neighbors. That's not very nice. That's actually not done. You can't do that. So I further experiments with other kinds of crystals and stones. I have found out that I am also able to absorb all of that negative geopathic stress from around the confinement of the 4 stones by putting a second line of stones around that rectangle, and that will absorb all that geopathic stress that is found. So that's a very good thing, because like I said, like apartments and terraced houses, you wouldn't be able to do this otherwise. Now, mythology speaks of going through the serpent to enter the mound. I think the serpent is a metaphor for these negative energies being heaped up just outside the structure. The serpent is depicted in such a way in many cultures. So you see this at the outside of temples, you see this depiction of somebody who is standing on a dragon or holding the serpents. It's like they're saying, we master the negative energies, we have them, we're holding them. It's very something to think about. Now this brings us to the first energy configuration I encounter at Megalithic Sites. This is a rectangular configuration rectangular structure of stones that brings in many positive beneficial energies, and of which the interior is free of negative energies. So stone circles don't have this. It's only the rectangular structure which has this. And other structures like dolmen, for example, they will show a protective shield as well. All kinds of dolmen structures, from the simplest one like a Carmore, where you put 3 stones and a roof slab over it, or the 20-30 meters long covered alleys, they have this protective shield, and they have these beneficial energies in their interior. Now this rectangular type of energy configuration creates a wonderful space for creative work, meditation, writing, just to be. Now this is an energy configuration that I have up until now only found in Connaught region of Brittany, at the quadrilateral of Maeve, quadrilateral of Connaught, and one that is hidden between two stone rows at the Carmario alignments in Connaught. So these are the only places that I have encountered this. And of course my house and the houses of people, I configured them into this configuration. Ireland certainly has had its influences on me, although I am a scientist and I do write my own poetry. Well, when you're in Ireland for a bit, you will find out very, very, very quickly that when you go to a party or whatever, people will tend to sing songs or recite a poem or play some music. So I would advise you to start writing your own poetry, so you will be, you will have something that you can bring at those parties. Now, what brought me to Sligo is actually Mr. Yeats, William Butler Yeats, the known poet and writer who won the Nobel Prize of Literature. But all those megalithic sites, of course, like, it was all a bonus. Poetry, music, megaliths, who could ask for more? Now, I have added a few poems to my books as well, and I would like to read a poem from my book I made about these 4 special stones, which I call magical stones. Magical stones. I wrote this poem when I was walking on Strand Hill Beach, when I was looking at all those stones, magical stones, and they just flew out of my pen. The wild Atlantic, the refreshing smell of seaweed, full of iodine, all of this, mine, for this swift moment in time. Soft sand and stones, holding relics of ancient bones, stones and stones and stones. They're tiny quartz particles, glittering in the sun, like sapphires. So beautiful, so powerful. Who could have known their power to conjure up sacred energies, create sacred space in any old place? Thank you, crystals, for your magical gifts. Which brings us to my books. So my first book, this is my first book. It's called The Lecher Antenna Adventures and Research in Geobiology and Bioenergy. And it is about my discoveries of the energies at sites in the Sligo region, like Maeve's Cairn, Carkeel, Carmore, Creevykeel, Knocknashee, Gilligan's World, and so on. I also write about my experiments in here, the ones I just talked about, the stone circle and the rectangular structure. And there are also a few bioenergy and geobiology cases in this book in order to make clear to the reader and to the world how useful this small but precious instrument that is the Lecher antenna is. Now, this is my second book. It's called Signpost to the Holy Grail. energy with infinite possibilities, doused with a Lecher antenna in Connaught and Brittany, France. This book is about my further research of the megaliths in Brittany compared to those in Ireland. Both of my books are available from the shop here at Rathcroghan Centre. And I believe there might be a little book signing today if you would like to acquire my books. So. I am currently working on 2 more books. One about the Rathcroghans, Cornbane East and West. I had the privilege to be able to research the Cornbane West Part 2, as I got the owner's permission to do so as long as I reported my results back to him. The other new book is the sequel to my Brittany book, with yet more discoveries I made in Brittany, which helped me to better understand the Rathcroghans, but also Rathcroghan Mount. My 2 new books are in the proofreading and editing stage and should be published and available from Amazon in December of this year, 2019. So I hope to publish next week or the week after these 2 books. Which brings us to my research at Rathcroghan Mount so far. When I measure a site, I mainly look for beneficial energies and energies that cause geopathic stress. I measured 3 geological fault lines around Rathcroghan Mount. I did, however, not find any geological survey maps confirming this, but after talking to a renowned Irish geologist called Robbie Meehan and researching this further, I can confirm that this is the case. We are very close to the Strokestown fault, and this region is known to have several inliers and several fault lines. I also found 7 signals for running water at the mount, of which the negative energy signal is partly neutralized. I find signals for transformation of negative energy into beneficial energies coming from within the mount. So there's several signals in the mount. There are definitely stones in there. Maybe a dolmen structure, I don't know. I haven't finished my research at Rathcroghan yet, but just saying that in the mount I get a signal for transformation and for these beneficial energies being formed. But I am also getting a signal for transformation and beneficial energies being formed from the stones that are just outside of the mount. There are big stones. There's a big one, and I think there's another big one with a little one. It's not a 3rd one, there's 2. Yes, 2 and the little one, which is next to the 2nd one. So these also give a sign for transformation and beneficial energies being formed. Now those 2 stones lying down, they behave like standing stones. So they behave in the same manner as a single standing stone in Brittany or a single standing stone in Ireland, although there are not many standing stones left here. Well, not on the west coast of Ireland anyway. But those stones behave like standing stones, although they are lying down, but that doesn't matter. Once a stone is programmed as a standing stone, or what they call in France, mania, even if it falls over or it gets broken into pieces, it will still function. If it's broken up, each piece will behave as a separate standing stone. That's what I'm measuring. I'm getting these same results over and over again. Now, I've seen this in France and at Lecher as well, is that the ancients put in standing stones with a second structure to make them collaborate. So I think whatever fault lines are very negative energies, and we have also 7 water currents, we have 2 fault lines converging into one, we have 7 water currents, And maybe they just wanted to make sure that the negative energies were neutralized as much as possible. And, or maybe as well, the mound is closed off, is that those standing stones are activating the stones that are within the mound. Now, to keep it simple and to keep this lecture within the time limit I was given, I can state the following. The stones that show the signal for transformation transform the negative energies from the fault lines and the negative energy signals from the running water currents. Other negative energies are also transformed here, but this would lead us too far in having to explain this now. And this can be read about in my books. And the latter is an energy configuration that is inherent to standing stones, rows of standing stones, and half circles. You don't find half circles here, you find them in Britain. The beneficial energies that are being formed, so the negative energies are transformed into beneficial energies, and the beneficial energies are life force energy, orgone, and tachyon energy. Sacred energy, or what some call spiritual energy, and divine energy are also present at the site, but they are present, they are not being formed. It's like with the quadrilateral, the rectangular structure, where they just there. There's probably some, they must come from the stones, or already inherent to the stones. So here we're looking at something different. This is what happens at Delmotte as well, and at menhirs, standing stones, rows of standing stones. But there's a difference between the two structures. It would take me too far. It would take me a couple of hours just to explain all the different kinds of constructions you can have and collaborations. But what is being formed here is life force energy, orgone, and tachyon. Now, Rathcroghan Mount, no, I have to say this first. These beneficial energies are carried away by the running streams to fertilize and impregnate the land with beneficial energies. These beneficial energies are also impregnated into the fault lines, trying to compensate for their negative energy signals. Rathcroghan Mount also shows two Delmotte ley lines, the ones I told you, the one that's in my grass plots in my garden, which is between two structures of the same type. Now, when I looked at the map, one of those ley lines goes to Navenfort in Armagh, which would suggest that Rathcroghan Mount and Navenfort are two structures of the same type, very similar. You can see these ley lines between two churches of the same type, for example. Yeah, but they have to be quite similar for a ley line to form. Now, the other ley line is going south, and when I look at the map of Ireland, I don't see, I know that there is, in Kildare, that there is a thought that there might be a similar structure. Delmotte, yes. But it's not going there, it's going further. These ley lines can go on for kilometers, and they can even go to another country. So you would need to look for, it's going into the Irish Sea, into the Atlantic, and further on. I'd like to say something about those beneficial energies being formed, because probably not everybody knows what orgone and tachyon is. Now, one of the beneficial energies formed at the site is orgone. What is orgone? Wilhelm Reich, another person with a German name, of course, identified a form of energy which he called orgone, and which is favorable to life, and is often equated with the life energy in the human body. Now, whether Wilhelm Reich is a German or not, I cannot say. I'm just going off the cards here, so I might say something that's not correct. It could be Austrian or Swiss, but it sounds very German. Argon is also known to have an effect on the weather, bringing in rain into dry and arid areas. This makes me think that the megaliths might also have a function in controlling the weather. Now, maybe important to say as well is that argon has also been shown to be able to push the body out of balance, making it very sick. It is a common fact that argon energy can be transformed into a negative force field that can have disastrous effect on the body. Argon changes into dead argon when it is harnessed or unable to move freely. This is why I ask you to enter megaliths that are very confined with caution. The beneficial energies, the argon also, is present just outside of the structure, which might be a better place to feel and take in this energy. Now, another beneficial energy that is formed at the site is tachyon. What is tachyon? The sites which emanate tachyon energy, besides sacred, or as some call it, spiritual energy and divine energy, should, to my knowledge, definitely have healing properties, given the nature of this type of energy. David Wagner and Gabriel Cousins, medical doctor, who have extensively studied tachyon energy, claim that it is the source of all healing. I explain tachyon energy extensively in my book Signposts to the Holy Grail, and I'm doing so in my 2 books, so each book can be read on its own. So it's not in my first book, it's in this book, Signposts to the Holy Grail, and it will be in my new books. So the books can be read on their own, so you won't need to buy this one to understand the other one. The location of Rathcroghan Mount must have been meticulously chosen for the beneficial energies to reach as much land and water as possible. I am sure there is a geological explanation for its exact location. Maybe it's the conversion of 2 fault lines, which then go on as 1 fault line. But it must be more than only this. Maybe it is on a major water source. Maybe it's higher up as well. I haven't had a chance to look at any geology maps. It might be most of the megaliths, even in Brittany where it's reasonably flat, you will always see that most of the structures will be built on a certain height, certainly the dome or tumulus. So Rathcroghan Mount might be on water source, going to the surrounding lands, impregnating it, fertilizing it with beneficial energies, the most beautiful, healing beneficial energies for better crops and for better yields. I think if I would live on Earth 7,000 years ago, and we were just settling down from hunter-gatherers to agricultural life, what is my first concern is food. Make sure I have food. And I will do everything to my knowledge and in my power to get crops, to make crops succeed, to get good yields, to get food that has a very high energetic quality. You can measure food quality with the Lecher antenna. I'm actually going off my cards here. I didn't intend to tell this, but you can measure the energetic quality of food. You can measure food with only a few calories, say per 100 grams, that has an enormous high vibration compared to something with a very high calorie content that has hardly any energy will feel much better nourished by the food that has a very high vibration than by the one that has loads of calories. So that's a very important factor as to food as well. I wasn't going to say that. Now I've completely lost my thread. Now maybe some of the archaeologists of the Rathcroghan Centre, or maybe people who live locally that are here at the conference today, might have a better knowledge of this, of the mound being on higher ground, or that it might be on a water source, or what about those fault lines? Are these the major fault lines in this region, or would this region have been like the most likely region to settle, where you could get good yields and good crops? Now I'd like to keep this for the end for the questions part, because I've almost finished my talk here. Now also I can say that I wrote a practical guide and made online e-learning courses to teach others how to work with the Lecher antenna. And I do also give actual training courses from time to time in the Sligo region, and I'm planning to do so in March next year in Strandhill. I will give a basic training course and I will give an advanced training course. So the basic course will be mainly geobiology and a bit about the megaliths. I will bring some stones with me. I will create that rectangular sacred space. And then the advanced course will be about bioenergy. Now, if you would like to be informed about my training courses, you can fill in, I've made a paper here, you can fill in your name and phone number and email, so I can send you some detailed information, so I can pass this on. In case you are interested, you might just fill it in when you're at the question and answers stage. My website is also on there, and I do also have Facebook pages. One is Lecher Antenna, and one is Megaliths and their special energies. Now again, I can't express this, I can't say it enough. It is very important to honor and show respect for the sites and the land. These structures were built for specific reasons, which I try to explain here briefly in this lecture, beneficial to life on Earth. Please show them your love and gratitude for serving us all these thousands of years. And I would like to thank Rathcroghan Centre and everybody that works here, the archaeologists, the staff, everybody has been, every time I come here, I've been very welcomed and very kindly tended to. And I also like to thank Bernadette Dalton for giving me the opportunity to give this lecture here today and to talk about my work and my research. So thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. And I feel very privileged because we're here actually at the ancient royal site of Connaught in Ireland. Wow. So thank you, and thank you all for listening. So this is where you can ask all your questions.